The mics are on, that's not our dino, and this is episode 8 of Our Disney Opinions. My name is Jason, I am one of your hosts, and I am joined by my lovely co-host in life. Her name is Julie, and she sounds just like this.
Hi, welcome back.
Yes, thank you. And on this episode of our show, we are going to finally recap our awesome family trip to Walt Disney World that we took towards the beginning of August and kind of run through hits and misses of that trip. And we're also going to do 3 things.
And as a reminder, we are travel planners with Goofy Getaways. We can help with choosing when to go, where to stay, and how to fit it all into your budget. Don't like waking up at 5 a.m. to make dining reservations? Don't worry, we do, and we've got that part covered for you. Is Disney Genie Plus right for your group? We can help you answer that question. Plus, we've done a ton of things at Disney, so we're filled with opinions, tips, and tricks to help you maximize every minute of your magical Disney trip. Best of all, our services are totally free when you book a trip with us. It all starts with an email. Just reach out to Jason at goofygetaways.com to get started.
But wait, there's more. We are also joined by our 13-year-old son, and we are going to call him Simba, and he sounds just like this.
Hi.
All right, good job.
Welcome, Simba.
Way to start. Are you excited?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
We've only been talking about doing this episode for,
since like
while.
August.
Yeah.
That's all right. Well, it's good to have you here, and it'll be good to hear your opinions on our trip. But I think we need to start with 3 things.
All right. So, so for my 3 things, I was thinking of things from our trip. Is that okay?
Sure.
Okay. All right, I'm going to start.
There are very few rules on this podcast.
Okay, good. So, 3 things on the trip that our most recent trip. 3 things that you did that were new to you.
Ooh, all right.
And feel free to talk about how you felt about those 3 things.
Sounds good. All right, well, I will go first. The first thing that I did that was brand new, I had been wanting to do since before the pandemic sidelined us, and that was eating at Homecomin, Art Smith's Homecomin at Disney Springs. And I was super, super excited to eat there. And out of the 3 new dining experiences we had while we were on the trip, that was my least favorite, even though it was still good. So that was my first. My second of the new things, I will say Rise of the Resistance, even though I know that one's going to be very popular, exceeded my expectations for sure.
Yeah.
Same, yeah.
It was worth every bit of effort it took to get our boarding group. It was worth standing in line by some strange people. And even though we missed part of the pre-show on our trip, it was still awesome.
Yeah.
So that was 2. And then my third, I'm going to go back to food because I thought this was the surprise for me. And I think we talked about it in the last episode a little bit, but I was super impressed with our breakfast at Ale and Compass. I think it's an underrated location. I think most people, they're looking for the bigger breakfasts, the Chef Mickey's, the character meals. And as far as just really tasty breakfast food for not high breakfast prices, Ale and Compass was awesome. The dark chocolate waffles that I had with the sour cherries were just fantastic. And when we go back for Christmas time, I'm really hoping that we can sneak over there for breakfast one morning.
Oh, yeah.
So those are my 3.
You saying that made me smell my omelet that I had that morning.
Yeah.
And it was a good omelet.
It was a good omelet.
Awesome. Do you want to go next?
Sure.
Okay, go ahead.
Well, my first new thing is Expedition Everest at Animal Kingdom, which we got off of Kilimanjaro Safaris, and Dad and I went to Expedition Everest, and we walked through the queue, and I was really amazed by it, and we got on the ride, and it was a lot of fun, and we got off, and I said, can we go do that again? And so we went and we got breakfast, and then we went back and rode it again, and it was a lot of fun.
Yeah. Was it as frightening as you were anticipating it was going to be?
A little
Because I know
bit.
you had talked about doing it a few different trips and then finally jumped on this time.
I remember that, yeah. wasn't as frightening, but it was good. I liked it.
Cool. All right.
Fun.
That's a good first one.
Nice.
Yeah. My second was also Rise of the Resistance. All the special effects were really cool and very well done. And my third is probably eating at Ronto Roasters in Galaxy's Edge.
Gosh, yeah.
That
Galaxy's
was
Edge.
good.
That
Yeah.
was good.
They had some really, really good hot dogs, and
Yeah, I don't even know if that qualifies as a hot dog.
it was like
It's kind of it's kind of a
pita-
sausage, which I mean, I guess a
Yeah.
hot dog is a sausage essentially.
sausage wrapped in pita bread and
that
filled
pita
with
bread
stuff is
and
really
I really
good.
liked the sauce. You could bathe my arm in that sauce, and I'd probably chew a little.
I don't want to.
Okay, fair enough.
Maybe we'll just eat the real food.
Okay, fair enough. Fine, real food. All right.
All right. Okay, so I will say, three things. Mickey and Minnie's Runaway.
Oh yeah. Oh my
Rail-
gosh, we
That
did
was
so
good.
much.
Railroad? Railway.
Railway.
That exceeded my expectations. I thought it was just going to be cute and fun, and I had a total blast on it and laughed like crazy, and I just loved it.
It's so frenetic. Like
It is.
I feel like so much was happening and we only got one ride on it
Yeah.
Yeah.
on that trip, but there was so much happening that I look forward to riding again to go, okay, now I'm going to look over here this
Yeah.
time or up there.
Yeah, there was
Yeah.
so much to see. And right from the I don't know, pre-show, I guess, or whatever, where
Yeah.
you're just standing there and you're not even on the ride. There was a little element of surprise there that I'm still trying to figure out. So I thought that was a pretty great one. You've already talked about Rise of the Resistance twice. So I'm going to go to Smuggler's Run, which was fun. It was not what I expected, but it was fun. And I liked the interactive parts of that for each person, how each person had a different ride experience. I thought that was fun. And then my third one, new to us and relatively new, is the Capture Your Moment experience that we did at Animal Kingdom, where we had the PhotoPass photographers follow us around for our own little private photo session. And I loved that, getting those special personalized memories for that.
It was a nice 30-minute session, and I'd say we probably did a dozen different, not poses. I guess there were
Locations, though.
I'd say, yeah, we probably
Several
got
different locations.
4 or 5 different places, and more than a dozen different combos, and
Yeah.
20, 30, 40 pictures that are worth sharing. So
And
that was
I
really
know
cool.
they've got their spots that they like to go to, and their shots that they like to get, but it was also it was pretty personalized as they kind of figured out what worked for our group and figured out and played off of whatever was happening in the background, with characters going by in the background and stuff. So I thought that was worth the money.
That's a cool add-on to your memory maker pack.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Cool.
All right.
Well, those were all excellent first-time experiences. My 3 things is I want to know 3 things that you don't mind doing again and again and again at Disney. What are your top 3 repeatable attractions or experiences or meals or food items or places to stay?
Oh my gosh. I think the shorter list would be things that I don't want to do again.
Well, and I guess even more specifically is not like from trip to trip even, but maybe even on the same trip. Like even I did Everest twice.
Yeah.
That kind of a thing. What's, with a limited time in your day, what do you find value in doing over?
Okay. I will say, because this one happens frequently on our trips, that we do this one again and again and again, which would be Big Thunder Mountain Railroad.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that
I
was
never get tired of that.
Nope.
No.
It doesn't change from time to time. I just never get tired of it. So that'll be one. Another one, I would go with the Peter Pan. I never get tired of Peter Pan either.
Yeah.
I never get tired of going through that queue and seeing people interact with it. That's
Yeah.
always fun for me. And I never get tired of Jungle Cruise either. I love the jokes, even though we know all the jokes. I love them. They make me happy. It makes me happy to watch people interacting with the skippers. So all three at the Magic Kingdom for me.
That's interesting.
All right.
Huh. Which I would say is when you're doing a trip, the park you're most likely to do 2 days at is the Magic Kingdom.
Oh,
so
yeah,
that makes
for
makes
sure.
good sense.
So, yeah.
All right, Simba, do you want to go next?
Sure.
Okay.
Well, I don't mind doing Expedition Everest over and over and over.
Whatever do you mean?
Yeah, that one's really fun. I don't mind, and I know that we've done this mostly every trip in the past couple of years, but I don't mind eating at Satuli Canteen.
Oh, yeah,
over in
that's a
Pandora,
good repeat
over and
one.
over.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
Could you do it twice in one day?
Oh, yeah.
I know we haven't, but
Yes, I could do it all day. It is great.
Every meal.
yeah.
I don't know what they have for breakfast, but I don't think burger pods are a very breakfast item.
Here's your breakfast, your breakfast burger.
Yeah. And I don't mind. I really like Space Mountain. Space Mountain I could do many times in a day. That's a very fun one for me.
Nice.
Yep.
Excellent. Well, those are all excellent. I'm going to copy Julie and say Big Thunder Mountain is definitely so re-rideable, and you know when it empties out back there and it's towards the end of the day and people have to pick between Splash Mountain and Thunder Mountain, and the majority of the folks are going to Splash Mountain, that line gets long and the Thunder Mountain line gets short. And I think on our trip we did 4 in a row.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
Depending on who you were.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you
So-
two did 2 in a row that
And
were
then-
just walk on, and then
Yeah.
I did 3 in a row
did
that
3,
were
okay.
a walk.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That was excellent.
So fun.
Let's see. I never get tired of, and we don't often get to do multiples in a day, but I would like to take the time to do it. I love the safari at Animal Kingdom. I think there's just so much going on, and especially I'd love to do one at the start of the day and one at the end of the day just to see
That's what I was just
kind
thinking.
of the differences between what's going on there. And then I'll bring my underdog pick and say I don't get tired of and would be happy to eat more of Deluxe Burger. I
Yeah.
think there's, and maybe it's the
We
fries
missed
and all
that
the sauces,
one.
and I know we didn't do it this summer, but it's almost Christmas time, friends. So we'll get ourselves some Deluxe Burger for Christmas.
Yeah.
So those are my 3 that I don't mind.
Good picks.
Don't mind repeating endlessly.
I'd repeat those with you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Haunted Mansion
Yeah.
and Pirates and Jungle Cruise.
Now you've gone way
It's
past
5
3. You
things.
broke all the rules.
I know.
Can
Oh,
I
well.
go past 3 by 1? Just
mean, you
'cause
might
it's
as
got
well.
a
He just
great
did. Go
story
ahead.
behind it.
Okay.
One other one that I like a lot is Cali River Rapids. And
Yeah, that's true.
the last time
That's true.
I remember doing it was before the pandemic, and it was a bit colder that day, and there was no one in line for it, and so we went with some family, and we went over and over on it 3 times in a row, and came out just as dry as we did when we got on, which was really disappointing.
Yeah,
but
Not the
ride's
goal.
kind of a
it was
crapshoot.
still a lot of fun.
Yeah, for sure.
Because they turned all the jets off because it was later in the day and no one was riding it. So
Well, that happens sometimes.
still fun.
All right, so we took a family trip, and it was our first trip since the pandemic. It was our first trip.
Yep.
And we stayed at the Yacht Club for 2 nights and the Beach Club for 1 night, and it was going to originally be a little bit of a longer trip and a little more of a relaxing trip, and some scheduling and budget changes caused us to have to slim it down a little bit, and we went into it with the mentality of still wanting to relax, and the minute we walked through the gates of Hollywood Studios on the first morning and headed towards Galaxy's Edge, I think that all went out the window.
We forgot to relax.
So we did. We managed to get the relaxing in, and it came about 10:30 at night in the pool for the most part. So
that was fun.
I kind of want to look back on this trip in terms of hits and misses, things that either went really well that we were impressed with, or things that didn't quite go as expected or weren't quite as great as we expected.
Okay.
And my first big hit for me was Galaxy's Edge. I think it surpassed all my expectations, and we could have wandered through there for hours and hours. And we kind of went in, specifically to do Smuggler's Run and Rise and build droids. But I think there's a lot more wandering that we could do. What did you guys think of your first experiences in Galaxy's Edge?
It was great. I actually felt like I was in one of the movies. Mm-hmm. And I know that among our group, blue milk was the favorite, but I really enjoyed the green milk.
All right. Green milk was the hit for you?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
I loved green milk. It was great.
That's cool. That's fine. I would say, I was amazed at how immersed you felt in that world.
Yeah.
And I did not feel like I was at Disney World.
Right.
Other than,
I mean, you gotta let that suspend that disbelief, as they say, a little bit. But
well, and wherever you looked, you could see parts of Galaxy's Edge off in the distance even, and they've just done such a great job with that.
Yeah, like when you're in Galaxy's Edge, you can look around, and I don't remember seeing any more of the park when you were in the middle of Galaxy's
For
Edge.
sure.
Like, you don't see the rest of the park. It's just Galaxy's Edge.
Yeah, that's really cool.
I thought one kind of fun thing for me was when you guys built your droids.
Oh, yeah.
I liked how they themed that whole experience, and as a parent, I was a little bit prepared to feel like, okay, well, it's just something we have to do and something we have to get through. But I actually really enjoyed watching it all happen and watching all the pieces come out on the conveyor belt, and you get to choose all of your parts, and that was really fun. I liked that part. For me, both of the milks were a miss, so those go in my miss column. I did not like either one. Thank you.
Oh. More for me.
More for you. There you go. Yeah. Sounds good. So, let's go back to droid building a little bit.
All right.
No, you were the builder.
I did. It was really fun.
Was it overwhelming? I mean, there were a lot of part choices to make, or was it just kind of like, okay, I'm going to get these because they're all kind of uniform and they go together? And...
Yep. It was... Yeah, I was trying to decide what kind of droid I wanted to make, and so I built an R2 unit. And next time I really want to try making a BB unit just to see which I enjoyed more. But I really liked that they had the the drill hanging from the ceiling that you had to reach up and pull down to screw the legs onto your droid.
Yeah.
And
it really felt like you were not in a shop, but you were in, a manufacturing facility that was manufacturing droids. I thought that was really cool.
The droids up along the ceiling that were going on the conveyor belt on the ceiling was really neat as well.
Yeah.
Who's got the next hit or miss?
I really liked the Skyliner.
Oh, yeah.
The Skyliner was really nice. It was not super hot in there because... It's a big box. Yeah. But it wasn't super hot. They had the vents open and there was cool air blowing through.
Yeah, enough motion forced enough air through fast enough that it kept it cool. And I think that was one of the criticisms of Skyliner before it opened, when people looked at it and went, "You're not going to air condition those? Are we all just going to fry?" And you don't, it was
definitely hot the days that we were there.
It was definitely hot the days we were there. Yes, indeed.
So that was I agree. That's a hit.
I liked looking, just driving under it, and everyone going, "Oh, there's The Incredibles." Or, there's Star Wars.
Yeah, there's so many different
Yeah.
different graphic jobs on there that, there's lots to look at. I think one of the things with Skyliner that we didn't experience, and this might be because of our location, that we could walk or take a boat back to the hotel, but the lines got super long first thing in the morning and last thing at night. So we skipped over it at those times, but middle of the day, we didn't wait. There were no waits for the Skyliner when we jumped on. So it was a really convenient way to get us from Yacht and Beach Club to studios, or from studios back to Epcot or back to the resort. So I really enjoyed that. And for the most part, we only had one trip that we were loaded with other people. So I think if it was crammed with 10 people or whatever, it might be a little less enjoyable, but I enjoyed our trips that were just the four of us.
Yeah, for sure, which is kind of a rarity on Disney transportation, to have it be just your family.
Yeah.
Unless you're traveling with a family of 10 like we sometimes do.
Indeed. So, okay, let's talk about other transportation then.
Buses were a miss.
Buses were a miss.
I did not like buses.
So frustrating, and I know it's just staffing and other post-pandemic drawbacks. That's
and I mean, problem, at that point, we weren't exactly post-pandemic. We were
true.
We were masked in queues and indoors, and the thing, we don't need to debate the political values of the mask, but if you're overcrowding a bus because you don't have enough bus drivers, it's great that you're all masked, but you're also a foot away from my face, and that's too close.
Yeah.
And so
I felt very uncomfortable on the bus.
We had a very interesting bus experience that morning of Animal Kingdom.
Yeah, that was more of my own miss.
Trying to get to the Polynesian.
Yep. Yeah. Whoops.
That wasn't
But
great.
that walkway was nice from the Polynesian to Magic Kingdom.
It was
It was
it
pretty,
needs some more shade, I think.
Holy cow, it needs shade, which was what I predicted when they said they were going to build that walkway. That's going to be hot. And it is.
Yeah. So, yes. Now you can walk from the Polynesian to the Grand Floridian, and from the Grand Floridian all the way to the Magic Kingdom.
And it is pretty.
And it is pretty. But you can also take a boat.
True.
All right. So, Skyliner a hit. Bus transportation kind of a miss.
Yeah. Boats were okay.
Yeah. Ferry was a little crowded getting onto it at the end of the night, but once we were on it, I felt like it was fine.
There's so much air moving that it didn't bother me.
Yeah, but none of us wanted to be on that ferry. We were all so tired.
We were wiped out.
That's true.
That was a long night.
Yeah.
All right, so let's talk a little bit about our hotels. Yacht and Beach Club are really high on my list of favorites from my youth, and I think they 100% held up. Stormalong Bay, which is the pool that those two resorts share, is the biggest pool on Disney property. Has a giant water slide, has all kinds of amazing features, has a sand bottom on the pool as you're walking along. So for me, that's absolutely a hit. What did you guys think?
Oh, definitely a hit.
I
It's ruined all
loved it.
other pools.
Yeah.
I
I
never go
loved
on.
all the different features of that pool. Like the area with the whirlpool,
Yeah.
and swirling water.
And so, when you say whirlpool to somebody, they think of a hot tub. But what you're talking about is
the water spinning.
an actual spinning whirlpool.
Yes.
That's, probably 10 or 15 feet in diameter and spins you around.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was. They've got the jets blowing at just the right angle, I guess, to spin the water around. And it's visible, too. Like, if you look at it from the top, you can see the currents of the water just moving in a circle. And it's really neat.
And it's not the easiest thing to get out of.
No.
You have a sense of accomplishment when you finally get out.
It's also a bit difficult when you're in there with other people outside of your group because you're trying not to run into those people, but then the current is also pushing you into those people.
You're gonna bonk into some folks.
Yeah.
That's true.
And there's a shallower area across from it with the sand.
The sinking sands.
Yeah, the sinking sands.
That one, I don't know if anybody or many people really know about that part anymore.
Yeah, but it's really cool.
I think it's pretty entertaining.
Watching your reaction to it was my favorite part.
I stepped in a really deep one and it freaked me out.
So yeah, what it is there's a section of that pool where as you're walking along, and you're used to where the bottom of the pool is, and all of a sudden you step down and you sink, probably a good 5 or 6 inches up to your ankle in that sand, and you kind of just sink down into it. And I don't know. It's silly but entertaining.
Mm-hmm. It's fun and surprising.
Yeah.
Yeah. And, like, if you pay close attention, you can see where those holes are. Like, there's a little, like, bump of sand there.
They look like they bubble up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, after you get off of the water slide, if you go out that area, there should be a big circle to your left that most people use to get out of the pool. But that's where those sinking sands are.
Excellent. Yep. And then let's see what else is at that pool.
What did you think of the water slide?
The water slide was great. My only comment was that maybe on the tube, if they added a little bit more, I don't even know what you add to make it hurt your back less going over the bumps.
Yeah, the seams can
Yeah.
scratch your back a little bit. So it's not the end of the world, but
Yeah.
it could be improved.
Still very fun, though.
Let's see. And there's a little lazy river over there.
Oh, that's
And
nice.
lots of waterfalls to play in. And
Waterfall as shoulder massage
Yep,
for a
that-
tired parent. That's a hit. I like that. Just go stand under the waterfall for a
Yep,
little bit.
absolutely.
Waterfall for who can keep their head under the waterfall for the longest challenge for the kids.
There you go.
Lots of fun.
Excellent. And let's see. We already talked about Ale and Compass, which is at the Yacht Club. Hit.
Yeah.
Let's see. How about other food in general? We had some really good other sit-down meals, and I touched on Homecomin and Ale and Compass.
There was, okay, I'll give you a miss. There was a night that we were coming back after the park closed. It was late. We were walking back. We were starving
I didn't mind that. It was
and
really
got
good.
some food out of the marketplace.
Yeah.
But it was still...
That was a miss for me.
I enjoyed it. I had a good sandwich, I think, is
I
what
tried
I
to
got.
get something healthy and got like a vegetable
You got a
sandwich.
roasted vegetable sandwich.
It was soggy.
Yeah, I don't know when they roasted the vegetables.
It had been sitting there for a while. So
Yeah.
that was my miss on food.
Yep.
My biggest hit on food is something that I'm super excited to go back for, which is Morimoto's.
Yeah.
yeah.
Morimoto Asia was
Yeah,
That was a hit.
it was
a big hit. What was your favorite thing there? Because let's see, we had some sushi for the table. We had
Ribs.
those
Orange
short
chicken.
ribs and the orange chicken and the lo mein,
Spare ribs, not
the
short
spare ribs. Sorry, spare ribs. Yeah, the spare ribs I think were my favorite.
Yeah, I liked them because I'd never had that experience with ribs before. Like,
Where they just melt.
yeah, you don't have to tear the meat. It just falls
Not even if you
off,
want to.
And it's so good. And the orange chicken is crispy on the outside, and it's got a good orange flavor to it.
Yeah, and it's funny. It's almost like a candy. I say
It's
candy
really
shell.
sweet.
Yeah, you think it's going to be super sweet, but there's also that tangy,
Yeah.
like where it's orange zest and not just like an orange flavor.
Yeah.
I don't know. I was really impressed with
It was
that.
good.
So.
That was awesome. And to be
Thank
clear, Morimoto, not at Yacht and Beach Club.
No,
It
that
is at Disney
is
Springs.
at Disney Springs.
Oh, yeah,
yes.
sorry.
No, it's okay.
That's fine. We were talking about food. So
Yeah.
Yep.
let's see what else was good food that we had. We had a Disney Springs day with my mom and dad,
Oh, yeah.
where we had poutine and we had a crepe and we had some sausages from BB Wolf's. I think the crepe, it's funny, I think the crepe was good, but in the grand scheme of things, unremarkable. Like I'm not
Yeah, it
remembering
was okay.
as
I
a
wanted
standout.
it to be better.
I did too.
Poutine is usually good, but I felt like they had pared down their choices a little bit.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah, I
Which
still
was-
enjoyed it, though.
I mean, it's still French fries covered in
Everything.
delicious
Anything
things,
you
so
want, yeah.
I can't complain much. But
Yeah, we did have a good breakfast at Animal Kingdom. It was a little stand just past Flame Tree Barbecue, before you cross the bridge into Dino Land. And, essentially what we were getting was an Egg McMuffin, one of those McDonald's or Burger King kind of quickie breakfast things. But,
it was good.
The biscuit was good. There was lots of cheese. It was nice and gooey. It was warm.
Yeah.
It was filling.
The slushies that we had were good.
We may or may not have had breakfast slushies.
They were good.
I missed out on the breakfast.
You guys,
slushies.
you guys went to Conversation Station. Should be our podcast.
Conservation
Station.
Oh yeah, that was a new thing that we did. I liked that. That actually was really fun. Conservation Station. Sorry, I know we're talking about food.
No, it's okay.
I thought that was fun, especially having watched the Animal Kingdom behind the scenes series on Disney Plus, getting to see the little vet clinic, and they weren't working with any of the animals when we were there, but it was fun to see that.
Yeah.
And remember.
What are you cracking up about?
I'm still remembering what you said when Mom said they were going to find a chicken.
Oh, yeah, Popcorn the Frizzle Chicken from the TV series.
We did not see Popcorn the Frizzle Chicken, and we do not have any information about where Popcorn the Frizzle Chicken may be.
I hypothesized about whether or not that chicken was alive.
I wish nothing but the best for Popcorn the Frizzle Chicken.
Yeah, that was good.
I hope she's happy.
Yep.
Absolutely.
While Dad and I were sitting there eating breakfast that day, though, so Animal Kingdom has this show where they fly a whole bunch of macaws and parrots around the Tree of Life? Yeah, around the big Tree of Life. And it's really cool, but afterwards they just let the macaws and parrots fly around the park because they know they'll come back. And so we got to talk to one of the handlers as we were walking out of the park. But while we were sitting there eating breakfast, two of them came over and flew right over our heads, and we got to see a whole bunch fly.
Yeah.
And then two of them landed in a tree, and we got to go look at them.
Yeah,
and
it was fun to watch them explore.
Yep.
And just
good experience.
How was Food and Wine Festival for everybody? This was, Simba, this was your first time at Food and Wine. This was Julie and my first time in a long time, I guess.
Yep, I need to go back.
That's what we always say.
There was a lot of really good food. My favorite was probably the griddled cheese and the spanakopita at the
From
Greek,
Greece?
the Greek pavilion.
Yeah.
It was very good.
Yeah. So for those not familiar with the Food and Wine Festival, it used to be that it took place largely September through November at Epcot, and this year for the first time they stretched it all the way back into, I believe, July. And the whole thing was not open when we were there. We got probably 60 to 70% of the booths, and they opened a few more on October 1st. For me, some of the booths that weren't open were the ones that I was really, that were a little more unique, that weren't there in previous years, but it was fun to go back through some of the old favorites like the Kahlua pork slider and that griddled cheese that Simba was talking about. Yeah, that was really tasty.
There was a cheesecake too. Where did we get that cheesecake?
That was...
I think that was Hawaii as well.
Yeah,
where
that
the
was
Kahlua
good.
pork slider was.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was good. And then the was it a cheese-filled beignet in France?
yeah.
Yes.
That was just oozing with
That was
really,
my
really
favorite.
good cheese.
Thank you for saying that. I had forgotten about that, and it was my favorite. I would like that to happen in my life again. That was good stuff.
One thing that may have been new this year, but I've never been there, so I didn't know if it was new, was Remy's Remy scavenger hunt, and they give you a pamphlet, and you go and find Remy all around World Showcase, and you put a sticker at that pavilion of a food, because Remy's holding a food or something at that pavilion, and you have to find him and put a sticker, and then you get a prize that you can turn in.
Yeah, I thought that was a cool
fun.
experience.
That was fun. It was $9 for the little map with the stickers.
Yeah.
And, for $9, you got to have a fun little extra experience. And
Yeah, and I mean you
a
can
little prize.
entertain your younger kids because they aren't necessarily going to be into food and wine,
Right.
but
Yeah.
they'll be into looking for Remy, and
Yeah.
that's
I mean-
a nice distraction as well.
I'm 13 and I had a blast.
Fair enough.
Run off and
Yep.
run
Yeah,
off
that
around
is
the
true.
pavilion
I
and
had
try
fun
to
looking
find
for him
them.
too.
Like
Yeah.
we were, where was it? It was somewhere where there's a statue of it looked like Poseidon, so that might be Greece. But Remy
I
was
think you're thinking of Norway.
yeah, Norway. There's a section of Norway where it stretches really far back, and I thought I saw Remy, so I ran over to the back just to see if I could find him. And there was a cool statue, so I took a picture of that as well.
All right. Okay, here's this question then. Did you miss... So when we were there, FastPass Plus was still gone, and Genie Plus had not been reintroduced yet, and parks were at limited capacity. They were still probably 35 to 50%, which is, in the summer, it's still fairly crowded, and so we were seeing probably between 20 and 40,000 people in a day, so it's not that lines were short. For the most part, they weren't unmanageable, but do you guys feel like you missed not having FastPass available?
Yes, because I remember that morning at Magic Kingdom, and I mean, normally we get a fast pass for Space Mountain, but that morning I forgot what we rode first, but we rode something. I think it wasn't Haunted Mansion. That
We
was
had a
after
really
breakfast.
frustrating morning
Yeah.
getting started at Magic Kingdom
Yeah.
of just lines being longer than they probably
Yeah.
should have been at a few things.
Yeah.
And I think what you're referencing is our Space Mountain. We looked
Yeah.
down at my Disney Experience and it said Space Mountain's at 20. And by the time we hoofed it over there from Haunted Mansion, it had jumped up to 60 because everybody had seen it at 20 and run over there. But the app hadn't updated quickly enough. So that part was kind of a miss, I
'Cause
thought.
once we got there, it said 50 just at the ride, and the queue was stretched all the way back
Yeah.
outside.
It wound like it was Christmas time.
Yeah.
That was a crazy
It
idea.
was something.
Dad asked one of the cast members, if it's all outside, there's no way they're running the inside switchbacks too, are they? And he goes, oh yeah, they are.
Oh yeah, we're running everything. So
that was rough. That morning
Yeah.
was rough. So I would say that morning, I missed having Fast Pass and felt frustrated. But after that, it didn't bother me as much.
I think Magic Kingdom was the only place we really had
Yeah.
trouble. I mean, we
Yeah.
But
kind
we
of
still managed to get on things.
We did Haunted Mansion and got stuck a lot. It was
we
fun.
we stopped a lot on Haunted Mansion. I think out of the classics and the mountains, the only things we missed were Jungle Cruise and Space Mountain.
Well, Jungle Cruise's line was
And it was
so crazy
it was
long
super
because
long.
the movie came out.
Yeah, they made
Yeah.
a movie.
So that was fun. We didn't
Yeah,
do
I mean,
that.
we went into the trip knowing that we weren't going to get on like Flight of Passage because
Yeah.
we just
Right.
didn't have the time to invest in.
Yeah.
I
You
ate
know.
a really good cinnamon roll and had a really good LeFou's brew
Oh yeah, yes,
at Gaston's
yeah.
that morning.
That's true. You did.
As we jump around a little bit, but yeah,
That's true.
Gaston's Tavern, still solid for breakfast.
Yeah. But I did feel like a lot of times we got into a queue thinking that it was going to be longer than what it actually turned out to be.
Yeah,
Like the queues were moving pretty well.
yeah. I don't
and
think
maybe
we
they
I don't
were-
think we waited in anything that was longer than what it said, other than that Space
No,
Mountain
I
time.
think it was almost always shorter. So
Yeah.
in that regard, I didn't. Once I got used to not having Fast Pass, it was fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, what about you?
I think for me, I didn't end up missing it a whole lot. Like I just said, we knew we weren't going to get on Flight of Passage, and so I think that was the biggest place that I missed it, was not being able to do that or not having a shot at doing that, and that was more of our scheduling versus having Fast Pass. But I think with the amount of people that were in the parks, at the end of the day, it wasn't really a loss for us. But I'm super excited for Genie Plus, and at this point, seeing all the reports of how well it's working and people stacking up multiple attractions for the afternoons, I'm really excited about that strategy and seeing how that works out for folks.
Cool.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's jump back to hotels a little bit. Yacht and Beach Club are kind of sister resorts. They sit right next to each other. the rooms at the yacht club have all been updated, while the rooms at the beach club are still kind of in the older style. So they've still got carpeting, and their bathrooms are set up a little different. Whereas at yacht club, they've got the laminate floor, and their bathroom was split into two. So what did you guys think, compare and contrasting of Yacht and Beach Club? Did you have a favorite? And, it can be theme, it can be room setup. What did you like about the rooms? What did you dislike about the rooms? Which one would you stay at again?
I loved them both because I was on vacation and
Fair.
I was at Disney World and there were very few things to complain about for me. I liked the updated yacht club that felt fancier, more luxurious. But I also loved Beach Club. The Beach Club theming appeals a little bit more to me than a yacht.
Yes.
So
I'm in that same boat, and I can't wait for the Beach Club to get updated.
Yeah.
Because it's 5 minutes closer to Epcot.
Yeah.
It's and like you said, I like the theme a little bit better.
I liked that, but the pool was amazing. We had a lovely balcony out of our yacht club room.
Oh,
That was
yeah.
a really
It was
unique
really fun.
balcony, wasn't it?
And then when we moved over to Beach Club, we could see Spaceship Earth from
Yep.
our window. So,
And the roof.
And the roof.
Yeah,
I mean,
and the roof.
that's
You had
kinda
to
how
look
that goes.
past the roof.
It was also a little bit smaller and more private at Beach Club, though. Beach
Yeah.
Club had a more private balcony, while at Yacht Club you shared it with 3 other rooms.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that
I
was
think
just our location.
We were in a pretty unique area, kind of right over the entryway at Yacht Club. So when you go to check in, look right above that, and that's where we stayed. And we waved at you if you didn't see us.
It was two or 3 floors up from the entrance.
Yeah.
So what do you guys think about the beds, sleeping arrangements?
Well, I usually prefer to take the bed, but both Yacht and Beach Club had a fold-out couch that unfolded into a bed that was really quite comfortable.
And when you say fold-out bed, I think a lot of people will picture in their mind where you take the cushions off and yank that giant metal thing out, and that's not what this one did.
It reminded me of a transformer.
Okay.
You pulled a strap or something and it flipped around.
And your dad went, right? No?
Now he did.
Now he did.
Now he did. No, it flipped around nicely, and it wasn't stretched out. It was just the same area of the couch, but it was a bed.
That's
and
cool.
It was nice.
Yeah, it looked just as comfortable as you would need in that situation.
Yeah, I
So
noticed
that was
there
good.
were no fights or arguments between you and your sister about who was going to sleep where, who had to take the couch this time.
No, I'm like, I want the couch.
So, nice.
Excellent. All right, so give me your most memorable moment from the trip. What are you going to take with you? What do you most want to relive in your mind or something? What was your favorite part?
My favorite part, I'm going to go back to Animal Kingdom and back to Expedition Everest. When you pull up to the edge of those tracks and it feels like you've got the speed to just keep going up, but it stops you and you look around and then you go backwards and around those corners. One of those corners, you went up a little bit, it felt like, around one of those corners, and it felt like I could feel it pushing back, and so it felt, my brain connected that with I'm upside down, and it was a really funny feeling, because I knew I wasn't upside down.
Correct.
But that was my favorite experience through the whole thing.
Well, excellent. And we rode it twice.
Yeah.
Once in the front, once in the back. Which was your favorite?
I really liked the I really liked the front because you could see the most when you stopped at the broken tracks. You could see the most. Like, you could see all the way to Disney Springs.
Yeah.
I could see the balloon up in the air. but I really liked the back because after going backwards, that show scene with the Yeti, you can't see very well if you're at the very front because you're kind of under some rocks and stuff, so you can't look back and see.
Yeah.
And then I also liked the speed coming out, and it was fun.
Cool.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Oh, for me, it's all about the pool at the Yacht and Beach Club.
Yeah, you seemed really happy.
That's my new
in there.
happy place. Thank you very much.
Yep.
Next time we go, you can just find me there.
You seemed really happy in the lazy river.
I was so happy.
It's a good pool. It's worth that deluxe price.
And what's your memory?
I think my most memorable is walking into the hangar with all the stormtroopers on Rise of the Resistance. That's just, it's so big and it's so larger than life, bigger than any other Disney attraction, show scene moment. So for me, that was something that I had looked forward to. Our last trip before the pandemic, that ride was about to open, and we left thinking, we'll be back there spring break, we'll be back there in the early summer, and we'll get on Rise of the Resistance, and then it was like a year and a half later, and it was just being patient, first world problems, but it was a lot of being patient and looking forward to seeing that specific moment, and it absolutely lived up to my expectations.
Awesome.
Yeah, my memory of that hangar scene is sideways, and I mean that literally because when I was taking a video of that on my phone, I did something, and so it is sideways in my camera roll. And if I turn my screen so it's just normal,
right,
it also turns.
It also flips.
And so
whoops,
it's messed up, but I remember...
Okay. We'll have to go ride again so you can take a better video.
Oh, yeah. I remember we were at Andy's Lunchbox trying to get those boarding passes, and it's a lot of swiping on your phone.
Yep.
And I remember looking at my screen and it saying, "Congratulations, you have gotten a boarding pass."
Yeah, you're the one who got us our boarding pass.
Yeah. Come back, and it was something that ended in a 5 minutes.
Yep. Well, all right.
A lot of fun.
Good. Those are all
good trip.
Awesome memories.
Looking forward to going back.
Absolutely. As always, we want to say thanks to everyone who's out there listening and liking and subscribing to our show. All of our episodes are available on YouTube, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts. We're always happy to connect with our listeners as well. You can find us on Facebook at Goofy Getaways with Jason and Julie, and on Instagram at Our Disney Opinions. And if you're interested in planning a trip with us, just send an email to jason@goofygetaways.com. Thanks again for listening, and we hope you'll join us next time for some more of Our Disney Opinions.